This video explains and shows the process of solving the real noise issue on an IGT board 502 with the dreaded revision A. The issue was corrected with revision B and also with any boards that followed in later releases. It was found that the existing ground traces on the board were not heavy enough and the soundboard picked up the AC noise from the real motors. The solution to this problem is to reinforce the traces with a heavier gauge wire, thus eliminating the open door for the noise to enter the sound card. Turns out 22 gauge solid core wire works as well as anything to accomplish this. This modification requires soldering skills and should be able to be accomplished by most hobbyists out there, as long as they are not careful not to over solder and connect any pins together that should remain separate. I will detail this process in this video and highlight what pins are connected and the sequences that I used. I am by no means an expert in soldering, and the results, although work fine, are less than perfect. This video is more about the process and where it goes than showing off my amateur soldering skills. If you are adventurous and also have this issue, I highly recommend performing this modification. It makes a huge difference in silencing the annoying real noise that my machine had. The next segment will show you where and how to verify that your board has this defective 502 revision A. The first picture shows the entire board with the sound card attached. Simply unscrew the two screws at the top holding the sound card onto the main board and carefully pry the board from the motherboard, being careful not to bend any pins. Just pry straight up, wiggle back and forth a little bit, it'll come right off. The next picture shows the main board with the sound card removed, and in the top far right you'll find the model number. Here's a zoomed in picture of the board's model and serial number. Look for the last three digits of the PN number and for the revision. If you see a 501 Rev A like mine, then it's a candidate for this mod. The following short video clips are the actual noise that the reels make and the sound card and what we aim to eliminate. Listen for the drone or the low frequency whine from the speaker as the reels start to spin. The noise seems to last the entire time as the reels are spinning as well. I will show it twice just because it's short. Hopefully the noise comes through okay on the video, as it's quite annoying when you play the game, and eliminating has made it much more enjoyable to play. Once you remove the motherboard from the metal case, turn it over and rest it on some protective foam or a towel. We will only be concerned with a small portion of the board from now on, so we'll focus on that area only. The red highlighted area here is where we will zoom in on and perform most of our work. In this area we will concentrate on the bottom horizontal row of pins, and various other pins around are all connected in this mod. Our connections will be highlighted in blue for the solder joints and red for the wire itself. Wire 1 is a simple two solder connection that is made between the 2 points shown. Measure out your wire, strip a small amount from the ends, and solder the wire to the existing pins, being careful not to use too much solder and bridging any other pins within the vicinity. This photo shows the completed bridge of wire 1. As mentioned before, I used the 22 gauge solid core wire to create the bridge. Hopefully most of you have done some soldering before and attempt this, but my procedure was to apply a small amount of flux to the pins in question, as well as to the wire ends. I will tin the wire ends, then heat up the joints along with the new wire while holding the wire with tweezers to hold it steady. Once I let it cool, it's complete. I will then always test the connections before and after with a voltmeter set to the continuity setting, while also checking the solder joints around it to make sure I didn't bridge something that I shouldn't have. Wire 2 is a bit more complex, but is still very doable. Connect both of the pins in a vertical stack, count 11 up from the bottom, and just land below the existing modification. Being careful, again, not to bridge your solder with any pins that are close by. That wire will then be connected to the top pin 14 over from the left on the horizontal pin shown at the bottom of the photo. Again, the blue dots will represent the solder joints you connect to, and the red is the connecting wire. The initial connection is up top, bridged together, and then run down. Count over 14 from the left and make a small mark with a Sharpie to help guarantee that you soldered to the correct pin. Here's the completed connection. Like I said, I'm no expert in soldering, so please don't bash me too hard in the comments. It tests out and it works. Notice the hot glue? I use it to help hold my wire in place while soldering, and also makes the connection more secure by holding the wire flat to the circuit board. Wire 3 is a basic run from the same 14 pins over from the left location, only it uses the bottom pin this time. These pins are not connected together. The wire then runs up and connects to two places shown by the blue dots again. Wire 4 is the last wire, and it runs from the two pins located on the horizontal rows 18 pins from the left. These two are connected together, and then the wire runs up to two more locations as shown by the blue dots again. You can route this wire however you see fit, as long as you connect the same wire to all four locations. Since this picture has all four wire locations on it, it would be a good image to refer back to while you are soldering and to verify that you're hitting all the correct points. Take a screenshot or a photo of the screen, or just pause the video here. You can also mention in the comments your email and I would be happy to send you a JPEG of it as well. I will extend the still image longer than normal so you can do just that, or just take a closer look at the whole mod. I also want to take a moment to thank the contributors over at NLG or NewLifeGames.com. I learned most of this over there and just put it all together to create this video from the information. If you own a slot machine, it's definitely worth it to head over there and create an account of your own. There's a lot of valuable information and some very helpful people. It's also definitely worth the $10 to become a contributor and help them keep that site up and running. As a final quick disclaimer, I'm not showing you how to do this, it's just an explanation of the procedure I used. You can definitely ruin your board if done incorrectly, so please keep that in mind. If you have success, then please let me know in the comments if this helped you. Also, subscribe would be nice. It costs you nothing and it'll help me create more of these videos.